Alrighty, well, Alec, welcome back to the Islands of Fire. This is our last stop before the finale.
It is, and things have heated. Things have heated up a bit over the last few episodes, and it's been very exciting. We saw Amy get heated. The Ice Queen got heated. She was getting melting.
Well, yeah, she got heated, and then she melted ultimately in the end when she cried to Eliza before the end. It's very funny.
It was quite a moment.
So at the end of the episode tonight, we'll have our final four left going into the finale.
It's gonna be interesting seeing who's left.
So I mean, we took out like all the power players, or almost all the power players, I guess, and now it's like all the misfits that are left over that they came together.
Yeah.
Plus, Julie is the lone survivor of the popular girls. Power.
Right, and Chris was not the power, but he was like the men. He was like the men's power. He was like their hope or whatever for the early going. So it's like it's kind of wild how he stayed in the game this long.
So your power rankings from last episode were Chris, Eliza, Scout, Twyla, Julie, and it was just hearing those names is so interesting. They're so different. You have Chris, the one guy. You have Eliza, who's like the talkative, was always like getting
on the outs.
Yeah, on the outs, annoying everybody, but also like insecure about stuff. You have Scout, the older lady, who's not in her physical prime.
The witch lady.
Yeah, she's casting spells, and she can't compete. She's upset she can't compete because of her knee.
Yeah.
Twyla, you have is like the redneck, but also like tomboy.
She's like, she feels like she grew up on a farm. She's a construction worker. She's a tough lady. She's a very, very tough lady.
Yeah, and then you have Julie, who's like the beautiful, popular. That kind of.
She's showing her rear end off.
Yeah, it's like they all are so distinctly different.
Very, very different. Yeah.
Very cool. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. I mean, in an alternate reality, we could have had, which would have been much more interesting, we could have had John K., Brooke, other John P.
Other Johns, yeah.
These guys could have been the end, and that would have been...
Yeah, these guys, the best guys, according to John P.,
the most
interesting guys.
Yeah. But what we got here is very interesting.
I really like this cast a lot. I've really liked, basically since the merge, every member of the cast has been pretty great. So, yeah, it's a good selection this go around.
So we had the shuffleboard immunity challenge last time that Chris won, and ultimately snuffed out Amy's torch there. But there was talks like Amy's last plea was trying to get them to split up Scout and Twyla. She was trying to convince Eliza to switch over with her. Ultimately didn't work. So now we don't really have set in stone what like their end game plans are out of these. I feel like we just know the final that four are together. Plus Julie's there. So the way we navigate from here will be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out from here. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. We took a little bit of a break, so I don't actually remember what the preview for next episode was. Yeah. I don't remember it revealing very much, but it could have. So it's good. I'm excited.
All right. So if you want to see the highlights of our reaction, you can click the link in the description and then come back for the discussion afterwards. All right.
All right.
Wow, there you have it. It's episode 13. Julie voted out, which
Julie's out.
Was most expected outcome going into it, but the way we got there was quite a journey.
Yeah, that was actually a really good, interesting episode of like really. It did it in a way that felt. So we talk about this a lot, where a lot of times in the editing they build up drama to make it feel like there's going to be like a vote. Mm-hmm. Like when really it's like it's really obvious who's actually going home.
But this wasn't fake news drama; it was actual drama.
No, this is like legit drama because like he's so split, he doesn't know where he's supposed to turn, and because he's he's really just kind of weighing his options because it's like, yes, I could go with Julie and Eliza, and that would be a great way to go. But then I could also go with Scout and Twyla, and that can be another great way to go. And it's just like,
so much drama
what
that
does
he
he do?
didn't even disclose it to. It's not like, oh, we don't know, but they know already. It's he told Scout and Twyla one thing, and told Julie and Eliza another.
And it looked like when he told them that, he looked like he was still going back and forth in his mind. It's like who.
He was genuine when he told both of them that he's sticking to his word. But he's just like, I'll decide. He's got that much power, doesn't even feel the need to tell them in advance. Yeah. But, I mean, I feel like he probably should strategically because, you risk losing a jury vote there in the end, right?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that weighed into his decision the fact that Twyla might react in a worse way if he betrayed her.
That was kind of, so here's the thing that I was thinking. If he brings the both of them, he has, and with Eliza, I think he's got a better chance of going further. Eliza does too. Eliza's actually been pretty solid in most challenges. That was her first immunity, but like she's actually been pretty good overall in challenges. So he's got her and then Twyla and Scout, who have been kind of like beefing recently. Like they've not been they're older ladies, and he's young, semi-fit guy. I think he probably feels that no matter what he decides to do with that group, he's got the best of the votes. He's not bothering anybody to the extent where they wouldn't vote for him. Because over all those people, like Julie would probably vote for Chris above everyone else there. If Chris is there, that is. If he, I think like you said, if he gets rid of Twyla, then she could be like, wow, I don't, she could get really hopping mad, you could say. So. Yeah,
and immunity wise, he's got a good shot with this group, right? Just winning immunities.
Yeah, he's got a better shot with those two.
I don't think it's too much of a difference though, because if you look at like Julie and Twyla on paper, I don't think there's really much. If anything, Twyla's been more competitive.
That's arguably true.
I don't think that makes a difference too much there. I think he's a good path in terms of immunity either way,
but he might also be thinking about votes in the final thing, and it's like if he. I feel like Julie would probably be a safe bet, but I feel like with the jury that he has, he could probably get away with kind of picking almost any of them to a degree. I think he probably just is hedging his bets more on one of the older ladies to bring to the final, or maybe even Eliza to bring to the final, because I think he'll play on the fact that he can get voted for by more people on that. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting.
I think Chris is comfortable in his position regardless. He said in the confessional that he feels like he has a better position than anyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
So much so that he was like, all right, I'll keep it to myself. What my actual decision is, I'll tell everybody what they want to hear and then just decide.
Yeah.
We'll see how it pans out, but he's in a pretty good spot here.
He's in a good spot. He's definitely has a chance to be in the final two, I think. It'll be interesting to see how the next episode pans out, but the strategy and drama of this episode is just really great. This season has been so good with the strategy stuff. It's been great. I didn't get my spooky fiery stuff that I was wanting from the logo.
Yeah, but we did get Mount Yasser.
I get Mount Yasser finally. That was cool. That epic volcano, and actually epic. It was awesome. Mm-hmm. They get to watch like a volcano erupt at night, like right in front of them. It was like a fireworks show. It was so cool. It was Chris and Julie and their pal Joe.
Yeah, and Julie brought Chris on this reward, and she tried to use it and talk to him to convince him to vote Twyla. Yeah, and she thought their brother-sister bond. He said her friendship is more important than his connection with Twyla, so he would vote with her. And then Eliza said she wanted to go along with it. Obviously, she was desperate to vote Twyla out, so. It literally all came down to Chris. He decides where the season goes from here.
It's all comes down to that. That's for sure.
And then there's the whole story. Jeff tells a story.
So I didn't really have Mario Party minigame names for these. I just called it Story Time with Jeff because that's basically what it was.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times before he does that, and then but Eliza wins it. Eliza wins. Julie was this close, which is like that would be a huge difference. Like, do you think if Julie wins that, he's just like vote Twyla as a result of that? Probably, so he just goes with that side.
I feel like that's a definite possibility.
Otherwise, he'd flip it on Eliza. I mean, he would be choosing between then Eliza and Twyla at that point.
Eliza and Twyla, yeah. Like at that point, that would probably be the case.
So I don't know. He might have still ended up voting not voting Twyla.
If only Twyla wasn't taking her time in that booth.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like, has to wait on standby.
That's what determines when is just waiting for another person. That's kind of a flawed game design, if you ask me.
Flawed game design, because Twyla could have just stayed there all day, right? She could have. She could have, if she knew.
She could have thght there, think about it, for like a couple
if
minutes.
Julie was gonna win, she's like, "Oh, I'll just stay here, and you can never finish."
Yeah.
I'll just stay in I'm still deliberating this question, and then you break the game. So yeah, I don't like that aspect, which was always an aspect of this story time challenge, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Definitely be exposed like in a bad way if you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
How would you do your power rankings for the final four going into the finale?
Okay, I think we got Chris. Definitely is number one. It's real tough saying the next ones though.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, really kind of difficult.
Because how does the voting go from here, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Together.
He could do Scout and Twyla together, and he and Eliza are together, but like Twyla and Scout are like an alliance too. So it's like I would say Eliza's probably at the bottom because her trust in him is now shaken, and she's probably not gonna like want to go with him anymore. I don't know. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be interesting to say with that. I would say it was him, Twyla, Scout, Eliza.
Okay. And a lot of it will come down to immunity, right? It's a big part of the final stages here. You know, if the wrong person wins immunity, you could just go right into the end there. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
You can bring Scout along. Like, who's going to vote for Scout over him? Mm-hmm. I'm sure somebody will. You know, maybe friggin' Amy would. She'd be like, women power. So she's probably just going to vote for over women. If it's two women, you know, it'll be interesting to see what she decides. But, you know.
So who would you give your MVP award to for the episode?
Oh, for this episode, give it to Julie. Julie tried so hard to spin it her way. She went to multiple people. She went to both. She talked to Eliza about it a few times. She talked directly with Chris. She's just an adorable presence and.
Right. And she wasn't giving it to Chris.
She wasn't too mad. We'd given it to Chris.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of it.
No, you know what?
His episode.
Scratch that. I do like Julie a lot. She's adorable, and I love her. But yeah, no, you're right. Chris was also like goofy this episode too. Like he was kind of being
I felt like he was drunk sometimes. He had too much kava, you know.
Yeah. Drinking too much coffee. Yeah, it's definitely over to Chris. Chris just did an interesting job navigating this weird, difficult decision he had to make, and he made the episode interesting with his back and forth. He didn't know what to do, so it was cool.
Yeah, he was a great like basically narrator for the whole episode. Like everything revolved around him. But yeah, all right. So next up's the finale. The
finale's next.
Come back. It'll be great. We'll do the finale reunion back to back.
It'll be a big deal.
It'll be big, fun times ahead. All right. So, thank you for watching.
Subscribe to the channel.
What video would you recommend our viewers watch? You can have this one too.
Oh, okay. All right. You can go watch the episode. What episode was it? Episode 13 of Survivor All-Stars.
Episode 13 of Survivor All-Stars. What is that one?
It was the second to last episode.
Well, no, it's not.
No? It's not? Oh.
The finale was 16 in that season because it was.
Oh, you're right.
Longer.
So okay, check out episode 15 of Survivor All Stars.
That's I think the one is called Pony Rides Over. That's when
Pony
Tom
Rides
voted
Over.
out.
Yeah, the drama.
Dramatic look back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our podcast feed, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and like us on Facebook, Tarqaron TWO.